Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 880 and Doubleshot number 774. I got 2 volumes of The Outsiders. First time in a while I've actually read any trades related to The Outsiders. Yeah, the only trades I have reviewed for them is I reviewed one of the trades from Peter J. Tomasi's run before, at least pretty much all the trades that collect Peter J. Tomasi's run. The Batman the Outsiders run that collect Chuck Dixon's short run for the book. And now I'm about to cover 2 trades that collect the guy who wrote the book before Chuck Dixon. Judd Winnick, a guy who wrote the book for 4 years. And here's the thing, it released 50 issues, but he didn't write all of them. There were 3 he didn't write, 27, 28, and 50. Of these 3 books, only 50 is in trade. 27, 28. There is no explained reason why the heck these 2 issues are not in trade. Also, there is not another printing of these books. I would love to see a new print of these books, but for some reason, DC just doesn't care. Despite the fact the series started at the same time as Jeff Johns' Teen Titans. Is this a bad run? No, it's a run that a lot of people thought was okay. I don't get many people talking about this particular era of The Outsiders. Yeah, I have talked about fully about how much I love The Outsiders. Thanks to an episode of Comic History. Look it up. Yeah, just type my YouTube channel, type in The Outsiders for Comic History. Type in The Outsiders, and you'll get some videos related to The Outsiders. Not many, but at least one of them is talking about whole history, a comic history episode dedicated to The Outsiders. I don't remember what episode it is, but I do recommend checking it out. Okay, first one I'm talking about is, now the store I got these from, these are the only 2 Outsider trades they have. And there's at least a good 7, 8 trades. Yeah, and I'll talk about these right now. First up, it is Volume 2, The Sum of All Evil. Like I said, written by Judd Winnick. And artwork by at least 3 different artists. Tom Rooney, who's the main artist. We also have Tom Durank, who I think is the artist right now for Supergirl. And Will Conrad. The cover artist with these issues is Tom Rooney with Sean Persons, Ian Churchill, and Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah, this book has a couple people joining the group. Now this group at this particular point in time, this was the lineup at this point in time of the book. We had Nightwing, Arsenal, Jade, the daughter of the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Shift, who was a copy of Metamorpho. He doesn't show up in the book at all. They say it's the only child of Jefferson Pierce. Yeah, Jeff Johns retconned this a few years later when he introduced her younger sister, Lightning, who was a new addition to the group, JSA. Yeah, the whole thing about her being the only child, that's a complete lie. We also have Grace Indigo. Yeah, she was a character introduced in a book written by Judd Winnick, a book called Titans/Young Justice Graduation Day, and I've read it, and I do agree with the criticism. It's an awful miniseries with awful artwork, and I heard that the artist was also a serial, well, let's just say the guy who would love to sexually harass his female co-workers at DC Comics. Yes, Eddie Berganza. Of course, we also have 3 people who are not technically part of this lineup, but they're part of this group briefly. We have the Huntress. Everybody knows who she is. The Black Lightning himself, Jefferson Pierce, and Captain Marvel Jr. Now, before I continue with this, sorry for what goes on here. Those of you curious, though, who the heck is Captain Marvel Jr.? His name is Freddie Frederick. And no, he is not the son of Captain Marvel. He just called himself that because he's got a similar outfit, except it's blue instead of red. And he's been around since the 1940s. He made his debut around the same period of time as the other members in the Marvel family. Yeah, he's one of the 2 most frequent members alongside Mary Marvel. He was even a supporting character in the Power of Shazam series. And I think he just made a return in the Shazam comic by Jeff Johns. Yeah. This book collects issues 8 to 15. Yeah, so in just 2 volumes, they've already collected the first 15 issues. Yeah, what the heck happens in these issues? Well, it features the return of the Fearsome Five. This lineup consisted of Dr. Savannah, a Captain Marvel, and I'm talking about DC's Captain Marvel, not Marvel's Captain Marvel, Jinx, Gizmo, Monmouth, and they are joined by Shimmer, who actually apparently was killed off prior to this, and she gets brought back by Dr. Savannah. Now, those of you curious, so who the heck are the Fearsome Five? They were a group of villains who fought the Teen Titans back in the 1980s. That's when they first showed up. And my guess is Winnick must have loved this group so much that he made them recurring villains in this run. Yes, throughout a majority of this run, that's pretty much what the Outsiders fight. They also fight a new version of Brother Blood in here, which I do agree with Joe Winnick killing him off because he was boring in the original Marv Wolfman run. Yeah, and of course Black Lightning is very, let's just say, very antsy about his daughter joining the Outsiders. Which apparently they made this version, this particular version is sort of a Black Ops group. Which, that's not technically what they were originally. I'm not really sure why Winnick thought this was a good idea to do. Making the Outsiders a Black Ops group where apparently they do stuff in the shadows. That is not what Mike W. Burton and Jim Apparel did with this group originally back in the 1980s. They were simply another superhero group formed by Batman to rescue Lucius Fox, who got kidnapped in the kingdom of Borva, I think the name of the country is, which its regent, Geoforce, he doesn't show up in this run at all. Those of you curious about that. Yeah. We also have Black Lightning, who at this point is the Secretary of Education for the United States government. This is also like not long after Lex Luthor had been removed from office thanks to the bullcrap he pulled in the first arc of Superman Batman, which was an arc done by Jeff Loeb. The arc that was, the guy who's currently the head of Marvel Television, he wrote that. As Winnick himself, this is probably one of his more well-known books he's done for DC Comics. Yeah. And we also have Black Lightning put on his original 70s look, despite the fact that's not technically the costume this was kind of the costume he wore, like a more familiarized costume. Of course, here's the thing by sheer coincidence, like, not long after he started this book, he got Green Arrow. And by the way, Green Arrow is actually involved with this next trade. Yeah. So, they actually break out Monmouth out of prison here, but this is actually a really good book. I don't really like how Sling writes some of the characters. Also, Indigo is in a relationship with Shift. And she ends up betraying the team like 2 years into the series. When the crossover they had with the Teen Titans called the Insiders. One of 2 crossovers they had throughout this whole series. But this is really good. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoy this. Yeah, this is not a run that... Yeah, for a lot of people who basically got into DC Comics, like my friend Tibia, this is probably a book that he may have read at some point. But who knows? But I love the Outsiders. I love the fact they brought him back. Alright, next up it is Pay As You Go, which is Volume 6. This collects issues 42 to 46. This, like I mentioned the other one, this is a connection to Green Arrow. Though Joe Winnick makes an error in here. Yes. You see, Black Lightning, now after the events of this book right here, he is forced to step down as a Secretary of Education because of his involvement being a vigilante. Okay, he saved lives and he acted like a superhero. Okay, last time I checked, Lex Luthor, when he was president, he actually hired superheroes to be part of his government, being his cabinet, and yet they had a problem with Black Lightning part of the group? Yeah, as a matter of fact, Black Lightning is frequently referenced in the next book. Now, in this book, this is a follow-up to a storyline that Joe Winnick started with his run for Green Arrow, which lasted for a few years before it ended in 2009. I think he took over the book at the time. I think it may have been because the book started in 2001, I believe it was. I think he took over the book in 2003, like around not long after he took over this book. And they introduced Black Lightning's niece, a woman who Green Arrow had a one-night stand with, and was later murdered by a corrupt CEO of a company, and Black Lightning indirectly caused this guy's death. They actually do figure out who actually killed the guy, and of course you have a guest star appearance by Red Hood himself, where it's revealed that Deathstroke killed him. Okay. Joe Winnick want to involve Deathstroke in here. Why the heck not? Also, the lineup has changed. Metamorpho becomes part of this roster and stays part of this roster up until 2011. Yep. We also have the second Captain Boomerang become part of this team, and Katana rejoins the team during this period of time. Yes, Katana rejoins. Also during the period of time between second volume and this, we also had briefly Starfire part of this group after she finished up attention with Teen Titans. Of course, she left this book and went to the Justice League. I think. Yeah, I think she went to Justice League. Actually, no, she didn't. She just basically went back to Teen Titans. Yeah, she went back and forth between the books. Yeah, they break Black Lightning out of prison because apparently he was sent there by Checkmate of all people to go undercover for some reason. Yeah, apparently there's a leak, so they break him out. And of course, Captain Boomerang is part of the team, and he stays a part of the team very briefly, and he's kicked off the team with the 5 of a Kind miniseries. Yeah, he's on the team very long. Also, in this particular storyline, and this starts something that actually lasts up until New 52 reboot in 2011, Joe Winnick puts the character Grace in a relationship with Thunder, the daughter of Black Lightning. And I gotta say, he writes it pretty well. Yeah, they make out a couple times, and then they end up having sex. Yeah, I gotta say, for a lesbian couple, this is actually a well-developed relationship, because it was hinted at this throughout the storyline, because this is kind of where they started the whole relationship between two of them, and eventually became a couple, and they remained a couple for a long period of time, at least a good, because I know it started here. Let's see, I think this lasted for, let's see, these issues came out in 2007, this lasted for a good 4 years, and then of course New 52 reboot happened. Also, here's something really weird. The character Thunder, her sister, and Grace are missing. They are not in the current continuity. As for where the heck they are, no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. And I gotta mention the artist working here. The artwork here is really, really good. And the artwork in here is done by several different, more artists than the other one. It's done by Papa Man, Ron Randall, Carlo Barotti, Freddie Williams II. Excuse me, and Scott McDaniel. Also, this is what Katana's outfit looks like in this particular trade. Yep, that's what her outfit looks like. Yeah. Oh yeah, this also contains the only annual that this run had. And it was this was the last annual the Outsiders book published. Because here's the thing, because not long after this storyline wrapped up, we had the Checked Out crossover, which I have read that it's an awesome crossover. I highly recommend it. This book is actually really good. It's a good way. Now, I'm sure Winnick was like, okay, I'm wrapping up my run for this book, and okay, he must have remembered, hey, I have a loose end my Green Arrow run I can tie up here, because I'm writing this book, and Black Lightning is in here, so why the heck not? Now, there is a continuity error for this book. Now, in the original story, they refer to Joanna, that's the woman's name, they refer to as Black Lightning's niece. In here, they incorrectly refer to her as Black Lightning's daughter. I have no idea why in the world Joe Winnick forgot that little factoid. He wrote the original story, which had Jonah Pierce actually introduced, and they mention her in here, and they have it where she's now his daughter. Yeah, that's a bit confusing. Especially someone like me who had read that original story. I didn't read it when it came out, I read it in trade. But yeah, it's particularly very weird, but this is still really good. This is basically the beginning of the end of this run. Yes, the beginning and the end, because this run kind of ended with the next thing that came after this, the Checked Out crossover, which involved the Outsiders teaming up with Checkmate to take on old Wonder Woman villain, who is Chinese. Yeah, it's particularly very weird, but comics can be weird. But this is actually I really enjoyed this. This is a good, well-developed story. I mean, this book a 9.5 out of 10. One problem some people had, from one person I know who read this particular run, is that Joe Winnick tried to have this book characters be too adult. I do kind of partially agree to that. And we have it, Leanne. She pops up both these trades. And at one point, Roy, I think it's in the first trade, Roy is shot like 6 times in the, like 3 times the chest and survives. Normally, you can't survive, but thanks to DC Universe, well, he managed to survive. He was purely lucky. He also grew a beard, and then he decided to shave off the goatee, and Leanne's like, "You look like Uncle Ollie!" So he shaves it off and keeps a spot. He keeps the spot for pretty much the rest of his whole entire run. Of course, he voluntarily goes public, and he leaves the book. Yeah, he actually leaves the team with this storyline. And then I think he goes to the Justice League right after this. Yeah, I think he goes. I think he joins the Justice League like right after this particular storyline wrapped up. Yeah, joining Justice League, and he was part of Justice League for a brief period of time, and then he decided to quit the team for some reason, and then before the New 52 before the New 52 relaunch, he rejoined he became part of the Titans, and he became part of the book up until, because his book was kind of replaced when his book ended in 2007, I think it was. Yeah, they replaced this book with a new Batman the Outsiders run, and they also brought back the Titans book around the same, at least a year later. Yeah, he became part of that book, and he stayed part of the book even after they replaced pretty much the whole roster with a group of villains called the Villains for Hire. And yeah, and the reason why he became part of that group because what happened in the events of Crime for Justice, which is considered, and I do agree with this particular opinion, it is by far the worst James Robinson book ever published. My friend Timmy can agree with me on that because I'm not sure what the heck Robinson was thinking when it came to that particular book. If I do get my hands on the book, I will talk about that book. And how particularly very bizarre that particular book is, and how some of the stuff in that book really makes no goddamn sense at all. Yeah. But 2 really enjoyable trades, okay? So that's it for this particular review. I don't have any other reviews planned for today, but I might have more reviews. But as far as I can tell, this is the only one I can think of was planning on doing today. Yeah, I have nothing else. I mean, there's no anime coming out today. I mean, there's one anime coming out tomorrow. Yeah, expect to see an review tomorrow. Maybe review a book 11 for Overlord. I don't know if Wednesday get a chance to finish it. And I think that's it. Yeah, just maybe 2, maybe 3 videos tomorrow. There might be another video coming later today. Depends on if I finish another trailer or not, okay? But to the next review. Bye.